Haedong. Welcome to another, well, I was gonna say tutorial, but it's more of a display. A few months back, maybe even a year back, I made this video about drawing and sheathing your sword. Well, today I'm gonna make a small form out of that. So if you watched the previous video, you know that it's important to know how to draw and sheath your sword. As you can see, this is a real life blade. Well, not real life because it's not sharp. It's an aluminium sword, a Chakkum as it's called in Korean. But it's very practical for training since you know the best sword angles and everything. So if you remember what we did in that training is that you extend your arm, make half a rotation and the sword on your fingers. When you can feel the end of the sword, that's when you put it back. So now we are going to do that, but now we are going to add a little form to it. So this combination is called the Baldo Chakkum, and there's multiple forms in that. But first I wanted to discuss the first and the second one, and probably also the third and the fourth, although the fourth has a little bit of a difficult Chakkum. But first we're going to step out into our long stance, our Dojo say, draw out, tut. Now we're going to point it forward and do the Chakkum number 1 I just showed, and then back. Next up, doing the same thing, but rotating, then you step back. So this is a very small form to practice your drawing and sheathing your sword. Very practical if you're ever going to practice with the sword, or even Haedong Kumdo with Ssangsu forms as shown in other videos. The number 2 starts the same, but then you fall back into a block, countered with a diagonal strike. And then we do the Chakkum number 2 from our previous video. Same but reversed, fall back, strike, and Chakkum number 2. Chakkum number 2 is when you extend it forward, you let it fall towards you, and then you make half a circle. If you do that quick, let me demonstrate it more close to you. If you do that quick, it looks like this. So it's actually 1, 2. Do that quick, it's like that. Okay, always point out first for control, then give some swing to it. Okay, let's do these Baldo Chakkums after each other. So number 1, tut, 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 tut. Now the third one is a little bit different because we first stepped into our long stance. This will step into our low stance, our Dojo stance. This one, you put the sword up, draw it up high, sharp side away from you, and then you step in with a one-handed diagonal strike, and you go down low. And from this position, you make that Chakkum number 2. Same when you rotate, draw out, sharp side away from you, short diagonal strike, and Chakkum number 2. Okay, again, draw it up, sharp side away from you, around you, short, low stance, diagonal strike, Chakkum number 2, and then rotate and do the exact same thing. Now the next one, we're gonna do a Chakkum number 4. So we have 1, 2, and now Chakkum number 4. But for the Baldo Chakkum number 4, we do it a little bit differently. So if you remember the previous video, I'm just gonna explain it again. It looks a little bit like Chakkum number 2, but with an extra spin to it. And to make that, we're gonna throw it back, drop it, open our index finger and middle finger, It's going to flick in there, so you get a reverse grip, and then you end with a diagonal reversed strike. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You need some speed for this one to practice it. Don't be afraid to drop it, unless it's a sharp sword. Then practice first with a wooden sword. Back and spin. Back, switch to grips, then a diagonal strike, and then you see sheath the sword. Okay? So for this one, I'm gonna stand sideways so you can see it, because we step out to the right. So diagonal strike, middle block, and the Chakkum I just learned you. For the other direction, rotate that way, block, and Chakkum. And back. Now from front view, strike out, block, Chakkum, and back, and rotate, out, block, back. That's it for the first form of Baldo Chakkum, number 1 to 4. There are 12 in total. Later on I will demonstrate other ones. Hope you enjoyed this video. This will help you with forms and overall agility and mobility with the sword. And I hope to see you guys next time. This was Dominic from the Netherlands, from Dojo and Drijver. And be sure to follow me on Instagram if you want to learn more, and on Facebook as well. Thank you.